Welcome back, guys. I'm Evie, owner and creative director of Evielutions Design, where I help businesses with all of their branding needs, from web development to graphic design, as well as printing and designing all of their marketing collateral. So today we're going to jump into how do we become more productive as business owners. Often we struggle with being productive enough to keep the business running. And so the problem may be that you are maybe spending too much time on tasks that don't provide new information or produce value for the business. So today I'm going to talk about 4 strategies for increasing your productivity without sacrificing your quality of life or work-life balance. So as usual, let's jump right into it. So let's start off by talking about what it actually means to be productive. So in theory, productivity is how much you do in any given period. But if you believe that, how productive are you really? The key to productivity is being focused on the right things at the right time. So don't spend the majority of your time on useless tasks. And so what I mean by that is that when you're deciding which tasks to work on, you want to really ask yourself the following questions. Is there something valuable in what I'm doing right now? What is the risk if I don't do this today? If I don't do this today, what can I do to make up for it tomorrow? And so it's important to understand that you don't need to have all of the questions right away. You really want to change how you think about work. It is natural to spend a large part of your day on work, and it's perfectly fine to do so. In fact, being fully engrossed in your work is very beneficial for business owners because it ensures that you're fully invested in your business. But you need to be careful. If you allow your work to consume your entire life, you'll slowly begin to despise it, and you definitely don't want that. You'll gradually find yourself spending your entire day working, which is just going to make your day long and empty, and you'll lose sight of why you're doing what you're doing. So a better strategy is to set boundaries for yourself, and we're going to jump into that right now. So the first thing I suggest is to prioritize and create a list of tasks. So most of us, get lost in the weeds and get overwhelmed by day-to-day tasks. This is a big mistake. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, carve out a specific amount of time each day for working on the key priorities for your business and prioritize that work. So it can be helpful to give yourself a list of items that you need to accomplish each day. So I found it useful to break it down into 3 categories and only focus on 3 priorities in each of those categories. So like right now, I'm working on a notepad that is dedicated to that. And don't mind this, it's super small. It's the prototype for me to kind of get a good feel for it before I send them to print. And so with this notepad, it has a section to start my day off by writing what I'm grateful for. You guys see. And then it jumps into a section for your business. Okay. So the next section is self-development, and the final section is your home, family section of things that you may need to do. And so I picked these 3 areas because personally it makes me feel well-rounded at the end of the day, and I figured that others could benefit from this as well. I'm really tackling 3 key components that help me feel that I have accomplished my goals, along with, making sure that I'm staying productive and focusing on the right things. So as I said, on this notepad, there are 3 check boxes for each category. And so I wrote down my 3 business priorities for today. So for the business, I first recommend spending time working on tasks that will result in revenue. Secondly, spend time working on tasks that will improve your business in terms of growth and productivity. So for instance, on my list, the first thing that I have is I need to finalize 2 website mock-ups. The third thing is spend 30 minutes commenting on social media. And so for me personally, I found that really engaging with others on social media has increased my awareness and people wanting to know more about my services and how I can help them. So that would add to, like I said, you want to make sure you're doing tasks that are going to help you in growth. And so my last one is call follow-ups. So once you have a list of work tasks to complete each day, just take a deep breath and take them on one at a time. Tip number 2 is to use time blocking. Okay, so this is something really new for me, and I've found time blocking extremely useful. I bought this little handy cube timer, and it sits on my desk. And I try not to work on any one task longer than an hour, and this helps me do just that. I got this cube from Amazon, so as you see, it starts out with 15 minutes, it goes to 20, 30, and 60. So what you do is you flip the side up of the time that you want it to be. So right now I flipped it on 20, so 20 is standing up, and it starts the timer countdown. Once it hits 20 minutes, it's gonna alert me that that time has passed and notify me that I need to move on to the next task for the day. So I found this very, very useful. I'm sure many of you can relate. Like, have you ever been in your office and started a project and you look up and half the day is gone and you spent like that entire time working on one task, or you haven't eaten, you haven't gotten up to stretch? This helps with that. And so I've done that many a times, and I found that this to be extremely useful for me. It is extremely important to diversify your time because it helps you accomplish more. It also makes my work more manageable because you can block time for specific tasks. So during this time, you want to close all other applications that aren't applicable to completing that specific task that you're working on. So for instance, if you have client projects you need to work on daily, try to dedicate maybe an hour to that. And when the timer rings, get up, stretch, take a sip of water, just recharge yourself. That is so important, that you're still taking care of yourself as you're working throughout the day. Now, this doesn't mean that you can only spend an hour on that task or project, but it ensures that you stay on task. So just to give you an example, here's what my schedule looks like. And it changes depending on the day of the week, as I do certain tasks on specific days. So I'll spend about 3 hours on current projects that I'm working on, 1 hour for support tickets, and about 30 minutes for engagement on social media. Okay. So the next tip is we're going to talk about low value tasks. And we all do this all the time, and it's one that we really need to focus on and stop doing. So every business owner is busy, so they need to make sure that the bulk of their time is dedicated to tasks that provide high value for the business, as I mentioned before. You may not have the time to complete all of your daily duties, so you may have to cut down on lower priority items. And those are usually things like scheduling meetings or calls. You want to find areas where you can automate or send people to a designated place is ideal, and it helps to save you time. So for scheduling, instead of going like back and forth in email on what day and time works for everyone, send them to a link to your calendar to schedule a time that works best for them. That way they can see what your availability is, and it eliminates all of the emailing back and forth. You really want to only focus on tasks that produce high value for your business, and this allows you to free up time to focus on those things that are going to add value and expertise and improve your business in the long run. Okay, so last but not least, let's talk about investing in outsourcing. I think I talked about this before on another video, how it has helped my business so much. To become more efficient, it's important to find ways to offload work to outside professionals who can handle certain tasks more efficiently. So when it comes to tasks that require, like, advanced analytic skills or, technical proficiency, outsourcing can help you scale up or down in order to handle more or less of the work, at any given time. And so it is easy, nowadays to find virtual assistants for repetitive tasks, like those follow-up calls, things like that, administrative tasks. And, you can use resources like, I think, Upwork.com, they have remote.co, and like Fiverr to find someone to handle like these low value tasks we previously discussed. And so I know it's hard because no one can do it as good as you, right? That's how I felt. Like I felt like relinquishing those tasks to someone else, it just was not going to get done right. Wasn't going to get done in a timely fashion. But you have to let go of the control. And I'm telling you, once you do, it is going to make such a difference, and you're going to feel a lot less stressed. So, trust me, I get it. I've been there too, but just think about this. It's better for the long run to just outsource these tasks, okay? Using these steps to help bring structure to your day and business, it prevents you from spinning your wheels on what needs to be done daily, and it allows you to actually be productive and only focus on what's most important. So I'm curious to know, what are some things you guys do to help you be more productive? Feel free to comment that below and share that information. So as usual, tune in on Mondays and have a blessed week.